Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. In the last episode we continued driving in the countryside and we eventually came across a roadblock with two bandits. And we had actually seen two bandits in a previous episode and it's pretty rare to see them this close together, but we dealt with them pretty quickly and easily. We headed up north in search of more stuff and we really didn't find anything, so we stopped by a dairy farm to harvest some meat from the cows. At this point our freezer is completely filled with meat, which is fantastic news. We continued driving through the countryside and we passed a small town where we discovered another 4 bandits. Now this is, in my opinion, a huge issue with kind of some of it is RNG, but some of it is game design. 8 of the last 9 NPCs that we've come across have been bandits. And even this makes 6 bandits in one episode that we came across. So I do think things are a little out of whack there. I think that the bandit roadblocks are a little too common. But anyway, we ended up driving a bit further. We found another upgraded solar vehicle and we stopped to harvest the solar panels. And that's about where we called the episode. So everyone, welcome back. How's everybody doing? I do believe we killed some zombie wolves out here. It's been a while since I played. Spoiler alert, not been doing super well as illustrated by some of our content lately. But pulling things together, getting things back on track. So it looks like we mostly stripped this solar vehicle down. We have a couple extra solar panels left. What we could do is take a break. We've been driving a whole heck of a lot lately. Really 4 or 5 episodes in a row. My goal was to tackle driving through this town today, but we might put that off and just spend a little time here putting solar panels on our vehicle. Now, we could strip, if we look here, you can see kind of when I'm outside of the vehicle, we can see the exterior here. So you'll see we're not fully enclosed with solar panels, so we could just tack the upgraded ones on the rear, but some of these are also standard solar panels instead of upgraded. So we could remove those to replace them with upgraded panels. I don't know that that's necessary. We get so much battery charge already that I just don't really see a need for significantly more power. But we will, I think, at the very least install in these rear tiles and set things up. So let's do that, shall we? I do see a rattlesnake. If I recall... Oh, I don't know where it's at now. Where are you at? If I recall, they're only... Oh, it's fleeing. Something must have got at it. Maybe the wolves or the cluster of rats that are nearby. I want to look at your sprite. I don't think I've seen a rattlesnake in Ultica tile set before. So let's see what we got. Yep, looks like a snake to me. I'm not real well versed on my varieties of snakes, so I have no idea what the differences would be or what I should be looking for. But it is a giant rattlesnake. They are poisonous. If they bite you, you can be poisoned. And they're not like really a big deal. They used to be a reliable source of meat before mutant meat stuff happened. So now, of course, they're mutant, because they're very, very large. So we're not really interested in this. They used to be. I used to hunt them all the time, and they used to be more common back when we didn't have as much wildlife. But it's fleeing. I don't think they're hostile unless you get close to them. But it's injured, so it probably would be hostile. But I don't think we need to worry about the snake. Do snakes even have a very good... Like, when I think of snakes, I don't exactly think of, like, super well, like, high-quality vision. Like, I don't know, do snakes see super well? Don't they see in heat vision or something like that? They have sensors for that. Anyway, let's install... What's funny is we're going to install solar panels from within our vehicle. We're going to put them on the roof from inside the vehicle. That way we're insulated from enemies that might be nearby. And it's just a little easier to do it this way, although it does not make sense. So they give 100 watts each at peak power. That's so substantial. Like I said, I think the standard is 60. If we have a look here, where's the standard panel? 50 watts. So it is fully double a standard panel. My guess would be that it's just a double layer. Does it say what they are exactly? Where's my... Probably this pile. Solar? No. Then I put it next to it. Solar. So if we look here, is it just doubled panels? Device panel has been upgraded to convert more sunlight into power. So presumably just a higher ratio of conversion. So like solar panels. Okay, so solar panels in real life are pretty cool and pretty interesting. And I would encourage you to give it a Google. They've done a lot of stuff with like even just the mechanics of how a solar panel transfers energy from sunlight is pretty fascinating. and then stores that energy. But the conversion rate for solar panels is not very good. They don't capture 100% of the energy that hits them, right? Nothing is that efficient. So most older solar panels are actually pretty terrible at that conversion ratio, but we're getting better with that. I mean, not all the time, but we're improving the quality of solar panels. So my guess would be these are exactly the same size and shape as a standard solar panel, but they're just a more recent version, maybe more upgraded version, so it converts sunlight better into battery power. So it's just interesting. I gotta assume that's what it is. I think when the older tile sets, I think if you had upgraded panels, it actually displayed them as an array. It wasn't the same sprite. It was like an array where it was a stand of multi-leveled solar panels. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, we've done that. What time is it? It's 1 in the afternoon. Why don't we eat and drink and then drive, and we'll plow through this town. Now we are weary. Should not be a factor, except for when we get enemies in our vehicle. It will take longer to hit them. How weary am I? Fully weary? Okay, how? 2.5 times longer to make melee attacks. We're gonna get probably about 1 in our vehicle. Minimally, probably at most, we're probably gonna get like 3 enemies. 2.5 times is pretty terrible when you're driving. I think it'll be okay. Let's make some lunch here. We'll make some cooked meat because we have all this meat. Why is this yellow? What does that mean? Oh, I don't have the food handling skill, but I have the recipe, I guess. Cool. Meat pizzas are a good thing to make because it lets us use up some flour components in addition to the meat that we would use. But for now, we're just going to make cooked meat, because that is what we have in abundance. We use the hot plate, of course. Ignore the rats, they shouldn't bother us in our vehicle. A black rat dives into the deep water. Well, I think a rat just drowned in front of us, so that's interesting. Why is my chunk of fat listed as old? 1 week shelf life. Why are you old then? I wish it said here what tile that's on. Let's look for everything and fat. Chunk of fat old to the east. Yeah, so you're not in my freezer for some reason. I feel like you should have been. We'll pop it in the freezer. I don't know. I think old means it's going to go bad soon, I thought. But I guess I don't know. Alrighty. Well, let's eat some meat and have ourselves something nice to drink as well. So where's my chunk of meat? No, don't eat the chunks of meat. Eat the cooked meat. Great. And then we'll have some water to slake our thirst. Not sure, I guess we have water in our inventory. We should drop anything that's in our inventory. That way, if something does go bad with the car, we'll be ready to roll. And while I'm thinking about it, in case, I don't suspect we'll have very many problems. But if we're going to go in, we might as well be fully prepared. So let's reload our magazines as well. So we have our maximum ammo capacity, which is about 200 rounds. 150 rounds, excuse me. And I think we're good to hit the road. We are in a little bit of we should heal next time we sleep. I forgot to do it last time we slept. Make sure everything is closed up except for the front of the vehicle. Okay, here we go, internet. Man, I hate driving through towns because I'm real bad. And we have to drive right by a park. And we're tired. We probably should have slept just to take care of that weariness on the off chance it becomes relevant. I hate that there's a park here. Okay, we want to go to the end of the road, hang a right, and we're just trying to get through the town. We're not going to stop here. We're driving through, so on our way through, we'll be able to scope basically every building in the town because of our vision radius with the binoculars. And then once we get out of town, we will park and consider if we want to stay here and loot anything specifically. And then best case scenario, we end up driving through yet another town. So okay, not a great position for us. Also, the road's not super clear, which is why I'm so bad at driving in towns. Going 8 miles an hour. Oh, that's way too zoomed. I don't want to go too slow and give them too much of an opportunity. Slow down to get in our vehicle. Okay, here comes the density. Oh, and I quick saved. That's bad. Usually I don't quick save mid-episode because if I have to Like if I crash or something, that way I revert to the beginning of the episode. I don't have to lose footage, but all right, that's fine. We'll make it work. I mean, I haven't had a crash in a long time anyway. Just drive through town, try to ignore the zombies. Every time we do hit them, the vehicle jerks slightly, which is can be problematic. We're going to clip this vehicle. Yep, that's not great. We see a skeletal juggernaut, which is a pretty rare thing to see this early in the game. We're only about a month in. Usually you see them, usually like 8 weeks, 2 months, somewhere in that neighborhood is when I start seeing skeletal juggernauts. Hideous Golem is one of the best sprites in the tile set, by the way. They're one of my favorite monsters. They also look really good in the Undead People tile set. So I really like this thing. It really conveys that this is a juggernaut, you know? Hideous Golem of plated bones and misshapen flesh drags its heavy, pointed limbs behind it like an unwanted burden. Formerly soft and vulnerable, bones grew around its form to protect it, only they kept growing and growing and growing. And he has a nice little pin head as well, just a tiny head on him. Alright, we also see a zombie necro boomer. I believe, I don't think I've seen one of these in natural gameplay. I only knew about it when it was added to the game. So let's have a look at this thing. It looks like it shares maybe the necromancer sprite or something. So just a spindly little... It's strange because it's a boomer, and usually the boomers are depicted as fat creatures. So here we have a zombie necro boomer. The thing with these guys is that when they die, I believe they have a radius around them that they upgrade all the monsters around them. I believe is what happens. First, this creature looks like nothing more than a grotesque and, oh, I don't know that word, oleaginous husk, bloated and punctured by jet black pustules. When approached, its glowing red eyes and an aching grin take form. Its skin tears and its gut seems to, its guts teem with unmatched fecundity as its gaze inspires fear of nothing less than cosmic inhuman ecstasy. So I believe Korg made these creatures, and he had a little fun with the vocabulary here. I don't know what oleaginous means, and I'm pretty sure fecundity is how you say that, but I'm not 100% on what that means either. So just a bonkers creature, and like I said, I believe when it dies, it upgrades nearby creatures. So what we want to do here is we're going to swing south because of the angle that we're kind of approaching with these vehicles. We kind of need to come in this way. And then once we're clear of the vehicles, we'll swing and head north. Because again, we're trying to head north here. And I was going to continue straight across and go up. Oh, but if we go north, there's another park. Man, I hate how common parks are. Okay. Well, if I go straight, we got to possibly deal with the boomer exploding and upgrading things. Okay. Yeah, we're still going to swing kind of south to orient, and then we're just going to head this way. And I'm going to try to avoid that boomer. We also have a brute here. I believe if they actually impact your car, can be problematic. I did lose a windshield tile, it looks like, which is not great, because windshields are obnoxious to replace, but whatever. Oh, no. I'm thinking of the reinforced windshield, which is much more of a to-do. The regular windshield should be fine. See a zombie master as well. I always confuse the zombie master and the zombie necromancer, so I'm not sure. Yeah, you do look like you have a very similar or identical sprite. I think this one, zombie master, I think you upgrade, right? The necromancer brings them back from the dead. It resurrects corpses. I think the master upgrades them. That may be why we see a zombie or a skeletal juggernaut and whatnot. Regardless, the road looks relatively clear, so we're just going to plow forward and ignore them, because why wouldn't we? Zombie necromancer as well. I also see a zombie snapper, so we are truly starting to see some of these upgrades, which I don't love. I enjoy the game more when it's very easy. I also see we're coming at a grappler, which I believe they can pull you out of your vehicle. And I do have a broken windshield directly in front of me, so if I swerve, let's say, and he comes along this side of the vehicle, he could possibly pull me out. I am wearing a seatbelt, but I don't think that matters. So I think we're going to hit this guy and hope that we kill him with the impact. which we didn't. And he's just going to bounce around that side anyway. Please don't pull me out of my vehicle. Okay, he did not. Let's back off so we can see where we're driving. Try to avoid the bicycle. And that's just road work, no turret there. And we're going to swing north at this point. So let's have a look at this town. What do you got that I might want? A gambling hall? No. Radio station? No. Landfill? No. Open sewer? Yes. Problem is, it's pretty close to a park, which, with me popping off rounds to kill these shockers and technicians, that would just draw all that monster density from the park. So unfortunately, that's probably a no. We have a mortuary, which I don't believe I've ever seen in the game, which is very cool. I'm a big fan of, I considered when I was in a bookstore would be so good to look for forging books to get our end game weapon, like a warhammer or something like that. Problem is, it's right down the road from a pool, and we've already seen all this monster density that's already upgraded, and then you dump on top of that, the pool's gonna have like 50 things in it. Just completely locks you out of that area. So I think we just go north and ignore all this stuff. Most of this, I mean, I don't really care about, to be fair, but still is frustrating. There's a gun shop up there too. Let's slow down and swing from here and go north, I think. And hopefully once we get away from the parks and pools, we'll have a little less monster density. What are you? You're one of the backbend fellas. Zombie hunter. Could be problematic, but again, I don't think it can really get in our vehicle, especially if we're driving at speed. Man, I would really like to stop at the gun store. We don't really need to. Oh good, 2 pools right down the block from each other. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's continue driving. Just ignore as best we can. Try to avoid being on an angle so that zombies can't get in our vehicle. And this whole episode is going to be me driving, huh? So I don't think we can stop here. We do see a actual NPC for once, which I complained about in the intro of the video, about how they were all bandits so far. So it's pretty nice to see a standard NPC out and about. Problem is, we're not exactly in a position to swing by and pick you up. The diner shouldn't be a big deal. We're not really near any parks, but I would have to clear up to the hunting, the outdoorsman shop, and that would take me time. And if I go left here, we're locked in. We might not be able to turn around and get back. Do I want to stop and try to save an NPC? We could pick up an NPC. I never play with them. I don't usually have companions, so it would be neat to have an NPC. My gut says just keep driving, though. Let's, what's the monster density like right here? Oh my god, there's so many. Zombie wrestler. Nothing too scary. A couple pupating zombies, I don't love that. What if... and a road roller. I know people love those, but I don't... I think we just keep driving. You know, my goal was to get through the town. I don't really need an NPC. I know some people will comment sometimes and say that I should play with NPCs so that, you know, for like teaching moments and stuff, so people can learn about them and learn how to use them effectively. Oh, I don't even want this road. And it dead ends in a forest that is marked with an L. What's your deal? That's suspicious. Man, I shouldn't have... Oh, and this... We can't even go across back here. We have to go all the way back. I should have been paying more attention. Also, there's a swamp in the middle of town. That's super fun. The road to the north is pretty blocked up, so we're going to swing around and hopefully not get a bunch of stuff in our vehicle. And we're going to head back. And we're going to need to... when we get out of town, we're going to need to stop and repair. Frankly, because we've been doing... Man, I hope these sludge trails don't hurt my vehicle. Okay, they don't. That's good. That's good. Okay, so we're going to head across. What we got over here? Fitness gym? No, no. Doctor's office? No. I mean, we have so many meds already. Alright, just get me out of this town. Another necro boomer. Oh, get me out of town. My god, there's so many on the roads. So I don't usually... in general, I don't complain about oh, I hit the mirror. Of course I did. Look at this freaking... Oh, God, we're not going to be able to turn. Back it up. Can I go east? I can. We're gonna go through this field to avoid the wrecks on the road. My god, this episode has just already been me navigating and failing as a driver. Are you a drone? Oh, you're an iBot. Yeah, I don't want you anywhere near me. Drop your weapon now. iBot, why are you in my car? Why, of all the places you could have gone, why are you flying into my car? So we're gonna go north through the field here, and then we're gonna swing back through. There were just some wrecks cluttering the road. Actually, you know what? We'll go east and check out these spokes. Since we're here, we are still looking for a science lab after all. So we made it through the town. My god, took 20 minutes and just was a miserable experience. I hate driving through towns. I don't usually complain about monster density in towns because it is the zombie apocalypse. My complaints are always parks, pools, daycares, things like that, where it doesn't really make sense that there would be a lot of zombies. But on the roads like that, we did see dozens and dozens of zombies, but it is the zombie apocalypse. That's exactly what I would expect. They would meander out of their homes. They would wander the streets, things like that. So to me, that makes perfect sense. What is this? Private airport runway. We did see one of these previously, and there was really nothing there. We could swing up and have a look at it just because you don't see them every day. Why not? And then the radio station tower to our south is not something I care about, but we'll check that other little corner as well. Let's get up here, have a look at the airport. So yeah, I don't have an issue with the zombies on the roads. You know, there are a lot of them, and it does become really tedious to clear them out later in the game, but it's totally with what I would expect the game to be like. I would imagine there's not going to be a lot of zombies here either. We could pop in and just have a look around. I bet it's a private airport or airstrip, probably not like vending machines. It's probably just fuel mostly. There's a helicopter there, which we don't have the skills to drive, by the way, so we're not, of course, not going to try that. Spoiler alert, if you're an untrained person who tries to fly a helicopter, that probably ends with your death, would be my guess. But I've never seen a helicopter in game, so we will have a look at it. We do see a zombie predator, which is the most upgraded form. What's the order for those? It goes, the hunter is the middle one. What's the first one? Hunter's upgrade. No. Is it hunter, slavering, biter? No, because those are the swimmer zombies. I don't know, but we see a zombie predator, which is the upgraded form. Let's have a look at you. I don't think I've seen your sprite either. Yeah, it's just basically the same as the hunter sprite. With its joints in odd places and angles, this humanoid creature prowls across the landscape with surprising speed. Its teeth and arms are sharpened into fine points, and black ooze seeps out from cuts between its muscles. Yeah, I didn't know you had, basically your arms are sharpened down to points. I didn't know that. I always thought that it's funny, because the old tile set I used to use, they literally looked like the Predator from the movies, the Predator movies. And they deal a lot of cut damage, I think, where they make you bleed a lot. But I didn't know that their arms were sharpened into points. That's super interesting. They're not terribly dangerous. They will cut up our clothing and stuff. So it looks like a lot of fuel pumps, I think, is what this is. So we're going to try to hit that predator with our car if we're able. There's no reason for us to get out and fight with that thing. So hopefully it comes up to the area we were just at, and when we swing around, we can hit it with our car. Also looks like there might be an accident down here. Or those are wasp nests. Swing back around so I can get light on it. What are you? Oh yeah, you're wasps. Well, that's great. I hate wasps, both in real life and in this game. So we're not going to deal with them. Did the predator come up to the road? I really don't want to get out and fight you. They're very fast. I believe they still have the leap ability at that stage of evolution, which can make them close ground really quickly. I don't see you. Alright, did you get stuck in the buildings? Let's pop out here. I want to look at this helicopter. Zombie predator. Yeah. You're pretty far away. Let's pop out. Stop driving. Are our headlights on? I didn't even look. Turn off the interior lights and stop driving. And we should still have our gun in our hands. We don't. We have our spear. Let's grab our gun. Then we'll just shoot the Predator. Yep, he has the leap ability. You can see him very quickly closing ground. Or either that or he's extremely fast. So let's just take some shots here. And he's dead. Pulp the corpse. We did see a standard zombie as well, but they're really not a concern, obviously, at this stage of the game. So what's interesting, I really thought the rotors would be visible on one of these, but this really... you know, it's tricky because it uses the same vehicle stuff that a standard vehicle uses, sprite-wise. So it just sort of looks like a janky car. But I'm pretty sure this is a chopper. What do you got going on here? Safe speed is 902. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's the engine. I thought that was the top speed, was 902 kilometers an hour. Okay, we have a 2-seater helicopter A, owned by my followers. It can move about 100 miles an hour at its absolute pinnacle. Looks like about 70 is a safe speed. Pretty heavy, unsurprisingly. I mean, not super heavy. It's a helicopter after all. It does need to fly. And what do we got in special parts wise? Like what makes you different from a standard vehicle? Where are your rotors? Small helicopter rotors. A set of 4 military-grade helicopter rotor blades used to provide lift by rotation. And JP8 fuel, which I believe... Okay, gas turbine engine. The turbine engines are supposed to be really, really good, but they require special fuel, right? How do I want to look at the engine specifically. There are more parts here. Is it the bracket keys? It is. An advanced combustion engine burns gasoline or diesel or aviation fuel from a tank in a vehicle. Also can burn lamp oil, although it's somewhat less efficient. It's pretty interesting that there's an engine that can use gas, diesel, or aviation fuel. I thought gas and diesel are sufficiently different, although I think aviation fuel is very similar to diesel, or maybe I have no idea, I guess. Better power to weight ratio than a traditional engine, but consumes more fuel. When turned on, this device drains 10 watts from the vehicle's batteries. An alternator can be attached and will generate electrical power. I heard the turbine engines are very good. I don't know though. I don't think it's worth... It has 2 engines on it. I don't think it's worth putting a... Is it just the one set of rotors? There's not even a tail rotor on it? Okay. It's really interesting. I'm going to try to drive it and see what it says. You take control. Oh, I thought they wouldn't even work if you... Oh my god. Get out of the helicopter. I'm going to save the game and then we're going to play with this because I've never done this before. Quick save. Oh god, it's taking forever. Okay. I'm going to try to fly this. And we're going to save scum. So for the record, I would not drive this in my natural game. This is just us playing around and seeing what happens. Can I go up? You have no idea how to make the vehicle fly. Can I go forward? You have no idea how to make it fly. It doesn't have enough wheels to move. I'm going to crank up the speed all the way. It can't move forward. And I can't transition from a different Z level. Okay. I mean, that's good news. Because then I don't get people screaming at me for save scumming. But, okay, interesting. Yeah, so you can't fly helicopters unless you have the training, which some people complain about. Just like you can't make your own helicopter, which some people complain about. But I think that all makes perfect sense. And honestly, if you did let people fly them, it would just be people crashing them because they wouldn't know how. And that would just anger people. They'd be like, oh, I could learn to fly. Even though it takes, you know, like, I'm pretty sure hundreds of hours before you're permitted to fly on your own, that sort of thing. I could take the welding tanks. We do have an old welder, but I don't use them. AV gas, so aviation gas, I guess. I thought JP8 was aviation fuel. Or is JP8 the one that's basically diesel? I don't know the different fuels. Anyway, doesn't matter. Moving on. Let's continue checking around. Just because we haven't really been to a... Oh, hello, brute. Glad I still have my gun out. Oh, you closed ground pretty quickly, though, so we're going to back off. And put you down. You're going to bleed to death. Come on, don't make me waste a bullet, man. Heavy bleeding, minor bleeding. I'm hesitant to sprint away from him because I don't want to lose all my stam. Pulp him. Looks like he was resurrected, which is interesting. Get our stamina back. And we're not going to head to the end of the runway, by the way. Those wasps are just a huge pain in the butt. You know, I don't think I brought a jack with me, now that I'm thinking about it. Is the scissor jack the really good one? No, it's not. It only has a level 4 jacking quality. Which is the one I usually make that has the good jack? I thought it was the scissor jack. I don't remember. We can build one ourselves. I assume we have... We should check if we have the recipe. Let's take it, because I don't know if I have anything, and that's good enough for like a regular vehicle. How much does my car weigh? Oh, way too much. So if I tried to take this off with the jack, where's my tire at? Where's my tire? It's 1 deep, right? There's a wheel. Okay. So if we try to take this off, the jacking quality required is based on your current weight. I believe it's about 1 per 1,000. So we need a tool of jacking 10 to lift such a heavy vehicle. So this jack would not do it. Let's see if we can craft, because now that we're near our books, what's the jack I usually make? It's the bottle jack is the good one. 16 jacking quality, yeah. So up to 17,000 pounds. Scissor jack is only up to 4, so that would be for like a little car. And then the makeshift jack would also be pretty terrible. So yeah, we're looking for the bottle jack. Thankfully, we do have basically everything we would need to make this, so that's not a huge concern. The main issue was, do we have the recipe? And we know now that we do, so that's good news. So we'll drop the jack, and we'll go check out the remainder of this little area here. I did see some gas pumps, which we could take fuel from, but I don't see a reason to do that. I'm guessing aviation fuel? No, it's diesel. So this seems pretty cool. Oh, and gas. Okay, I was going to say this seems like a great place to go if you're looking for diesel, because it has multiple diesel pumps, but it's only 1 diesel and 2 gas. And then I'm guessing these are supposed to represent the storage tanks for that fuel. But yeah, it looks like maybe they're just metal walls all the way deep. But I'm guessing that's supposed to represent the standing tanks. What is this? Radio tower? Alright. I don't want to venture much further because of the wasp nest. What we got up here? Oh, into the tower? Is this like AT air traffic control? File. Doesn't look like a file. Oh, it's like a binder? Okay. Another file. Nothing really here. Very small as well. Looks like maybe just the tower. I don't know if that's where air traffic control actually is. It might be in here somewhere. Like up multiple floors in there. Because this is tiny. I mean, I guess if it's a private airfield, it's probably only accepting a few planes. So maybe they don't need a huge network of people like you would at, say, like Dulles or something. Let's okay, I guess, and this is where you would be processed. It's weird, if it's a private airfield, why would it even have luggage stuff, right? Like private airfields, what's this called exactly? Private airport. So it's an airport, not just like a little rural runway. It just seems odd that they would have cargo processing. So if you're coming in on a private plane to a private airfield, you probably have all your stuff right there and you're just going to get it in and out. I don't know. What do I know? I don't fly. Whatever. Flying is terrifying. I don't do it. So maybe some stuff in the back if I could slip through here. Just some clothes. No, nothing. We will take that fan. I think it might have a micro motor in it. Would be my guess. And those are not the most common thing to pick up, so we might take that with us. Suitcases appear to be empty. Okay, I mean, this place is not terrible. It's certainly an interesting location to come by once or twice. And I do think we'll swing our vehicle down here to fill up our tanks from the gas pumps. But not exactly a place you need to prioritize going. I think we've dealt with the zombie menace for the time being, so we don't need to worry about our gun. And let's fill our tanks here. Alright, so this episode, a little bit of a bust. You know, we mostly just drove around and things, which I know is not terribly exciting. But we did see some monster evolutions that are a little rare, not exactly things we come across every day here. So let's stop, pop out. I should be able to fill both from here. Fill vehicle car. And yeah, I imagine there'll be enough for both tanks. Fill vehicle car. We emptied that one, but this one probably will completely fill the other tank. Not quite. Very close, but not quite. Okay. I mean, we have enough gas to drive for days and days and days, so that's really not a concern. We really should look at putting a more powerful engine in this when I get settled in a new place, or next time we see a powerful vehicle of some sort. Definitely should look at that. And I do think before we hit the road again, we are going to stop and repair any of these tiles that may be damaged. Looks like our windshield took a serious beating, which is super interesting because all the panels up front are fine. But the windshield, I mean, it's glass, right? It doesn't flex the way metal flexes, so maybe that's why the windshields are taking so much damage. Now I want to look at our solar panels. Many of these panels are very badly damaged. And my question is, were they like that before we put them on? Or is us driving and ramming things hurting our solar panels? Because when you make an impact on the front of the vehicle, it does transfer force to other tiles. I don't know what I do to fix that. I believe there are shock absorbers, but I don't know if they work on roof materials or just like furniture in the vehicle. I don't know how that works. Regardless though, for now we're going to call the episode. Everyone, thank you for coming on this terrible journey with me. I'll be back with more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead in the near future. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.